Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to be talking about some new drama that's came out. I was about to say what's new, like this isn't my second video on YouTube. But today's video is going to be about Jeffree Star and his recent interview on the Mom's Basement podcast, which is run by I think Keemstar and Faze Banks. And just before we get into the video, if you enjoy this style of content, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And also my socials will be here and also in the description. And one last thing I'm going to say is I'm not going to include any clips or like there is no clips. It was just an audio podcast and I feel like that would be quite boring because I would be saying it and then I would just be putting a clip of them saying it, so it'd be quite boring. But all the timestamps for the tea I'm talking about are in the description, so you can go onto Spotify and listen to Jeffree saying it himself. So the first thing Jeffree talked about was the drinking drama, which has recently kind of been a controversy because Jeffree always promotes this narrative that he has never drank in his whole life and he's never touched alcohol before. But there are countless pictures of him with alcohol and also him tweeting about being drunk. But Jeffree basically just played that off and said it was a joke. He never actually drank the alcohol in the pictures and they were just taken for effect. I guess we have no way to prove if he's telling the truth or not with that because, well, the pictures are from like 10 plus years ago. No one is going to remember whether or not Jeffree at that party or in that picture actually ended up drinking that drink. But then again, also, I don't understand why Jeffree would even lie about not drinking. In a way, if he says he hasn't ever drank, like, I believe him, because why would you lie about that? He gets high every single day. He would get no benefit from lying and saying that he's never drank before. The next bit of tea Jeffree touched on in the podcast was the blood on the dance floor drama and the Darby, I think his name is, drama. So the main bit of drama here was that Jeffree actually called out Darby for allegedly being a but Jeffree actually clarified in the podcast numerous times that he never actually saw Darby doing anything. The main problem with this was that even though Jeffree had called this person out for allegedly being a Jeffree still went on to tour with him again and also tweeted at him calling him bro. But in the podcast, Jeffree also clarified that when he tweeted this message, "I'm gonna speak the truth till I die. We saw blood on the dance floor music. Darby bring underage girls to his hotel rooms and do things 100% illegal." And Jeffree actually clarified in the podcast the tweet where Jeffree said "we" was actually a lie and Jeffree didn't see anything. He was just told all of it by people also on the tour and other people in the industry, and that's why Jeffree used the pronoun "we," but he didn't actually see anything. And another thing with the blood on the dance floor drama was that a video surfaced of a girl grinding on Darby on stage and Jeffree was there, so people were kind of like, how can you say you didn't see any of it, but there's literally a video of you on stage when he was grinding on a girl. But I've never personally been to a rock show, but Jeffree played that off as the norm for rock shows and said, you know, that's what happens there, which, like I said, I never been to a rock show, so I wouldn't know. And Jeffree kind of finished that section off saying he regrets working with him again and basically just kept clarifying that he didn't actually see Darby do anything illegal because if he did, he would have reported it. I'm sorry if I'm going through this too quickly. I'm kind of just compiling all the drama Jeffree touched on in the Mom's Basement podcast. So now the next thing he talked about was Romeo Lacoste. And if you don't know what happened with him, it actually came out that he was allegedly messaging underage girls, like asking for favors and stuff. I feel like I'm gonna have to bleep out a lot of this stuff. And the only real thing Jeffree said in terms of that drama was that Romeo actually tried to hook up with Jeffree years ago, but obviously Jeffree and Romeo are like similar ages, so it wasn't anything underage. But there was no actual like proof to this. It was kind of just a little comment Jeffree made. And another thing Jeffree said on the situation was that Romeo has actually tattooed Jeffree before, which I didn't know. I just thought it was a bit of interesting tea there. But then Jeffree followed that up by calling Romeo a sociopath as he used to just tattoo people for free clout. The next bit of drama Jeffree touched on was the Hunter Moore revenge porn website drama, which I didn't actually know much about. And it kind of came out that apparently Jeffree had been sending revenge porn into this website, and Jeffree basically said that he had never sent revenge into Hunter Moore's website and that he kind of lied about doing it multiple times. Like Jeffree would say that he had sent stuff in when he actually hadn't, but Jeffree did actually admit to telling Hunter Moore a few names of guys he hooked up with, saying in regard to the names he sent to Hunter Moore, some were true and some were not. And Jeffree actually defended himself in regards to the Hunter Moore book that came out, the autobiography that kind of threw some shade at Jeffree, and he said the book Hunter Moore wrote was full of lies and it was just someone twisting Jeffree doing something nice into something else. So the next thing Jeffree did was address drama channels in relation to all of this past drama that I've just talked about, saying that the undertone of drama channels was that Jeffree approved or didn't care that a certain person was doing something illegal. And Jeffree actually said that that wasn't the case and it was disgusting to insinuate that, and he is sorry that he ever knew people like that. Now, getting on to the probably biggest amount of tea spill in that podcast, and that was the James Charles and Tati Westbrook drama. And this is like a big section, and I will mainly be talking about my opinions on it. So it started with Keem rehashing Jeffree's tweets about James. He talked about the tweet where Jeffree said that there was a reason that Nathan banned James from ever coming over to our house again. Then at the end of that tweet said, he is a danger to society. Everything Tati said is 100% true. And then in the next one, Jeffree was quote tweeting James Charles' brother's tweet, saying in that tweet, "Why is your brother a predator?" And the first thing Keem asked Jeffree was if James was still a danger to society. And Jeffree answered that 1 year later, saying that it was still a very complicated situation. And then Jeffree went on to say that someone at the time, but he couldn't name them for legal reasons, told them, I'm guessing he meant Tati and himself, a few things. And they trusted that person's opinion so much that it convinced them that James was a predator. And then Jeffree went as far to say that he could actually go into another room and play Faze Banks the proof that he had. But then Jeffree followed that up saying that he wouldn't want to out a victim of James Charles. And here's where we kind of get into like the real tea of it, and where Jeffree started throwing Tati under the bus. So then Jeffree basically said that people saying that he, as in Jeffree was the one that ruined James Charles's career, were wrong, and Tati was the one who decided to upload the 40-minute exposing video. And actually went on to say that Tati should have never uploaded that video. And my opinion on that is, although that statement is true, yes, Tati was the one who uploaded that video, and Jeffree can't just act as if he's disagreed with the video the whole time and that he never agreed with the opinions in that video, because that's just simply not true. When the drama was actually going on, Jeffree put at the end of a tweet, everything Tati said is 100% true, and that was on the 12th of May last year when all the drama was going on. And then Jeffree finished it off basically explaining how all the drama finished, and he clarified that the drama ended with him, James and Tati all making peace. But then Jeffree went on to say that him and Shane are no longer friends with Tati, but they are not enemies or anything like that. Also saying that there is no feud between himself and James Charles. And just a little bit of last tea, Jeffree actually said that he was now writing an autobiography about his life because he wanted to become a New York Times bestseller. So now onto my final opinions on that whole situation. My probably biggest problem with that whole podcast was that Jeffree still couldn't really answer many of the questions to do with the situation, and if he did, they weren't concrete answers. For example, when Keem asked Jeffree if James was still a predator, Jeffree just said, it's complicated. And then the next problem is, although Jeffree said he had proof of James being a predator, he couldn't actually name who gave him the evidence. And when I think it was Colossal quizzed him on the evidence, Jeffree couldn't even really explain what the evidence was. He was kind of like, well, I don't know how to explain it properly. Here's another one of my biggest issues with it is, I also think Jeffree was wrong for completely trying to throw Tati under the bus and pass all the blame to her as if he never agreed with the stuff she was saying. Like, I think we need to take our minds back to a year ago when it was first kicking off. Jeffree was very much in support of Tati and was even congratulating her every million she passed to rub it in James Charles's face that he was losing subscribers from this situation. So kind of like, how can you act like you never agreed with it when, if we take it back a year and look at your tweets, you were very much in support of Tati? And I get like it's changed now, but don't try and take a moral high ground and act as if you never agreed with it. Also, something that I did just want to mention was the fact that Faze Banks and Jeffree actually recorded the podcast together, even though I'm pretty sure California is on lockdown, so I don't understand how that worked. I don't know where people's stance is on that, because I didn't really see anybody talking about the fact that they made it very clear that they were together. Like, Jeffree put a Snapchat of him in his car. They said, I can take you to another room and play the recording, because I'm from the UK, and here, like, we're not allowed to go to, like, anyone's house, and I'm pretty sure California is, like, pretty close to that, so I don't really know why they were together. Like, they're not really doing their part to stop the spread. But now, to wrap that all up, I'm just thinking, is it all gonna kick off now? Like, is, like, a year after all the drama, is it all gonna kick off again? Because Keemstar actually said that James Charles might be going on next week. Like, it kind of sounded like he was saying it as a joke, but then someone said, oh, is he actually? And Keem was like, yeah, I think so, but he has quit on us before, so I'm kind of thinking, is it all going to kick off again? Who knows? This is the beauty community we're talking about, so there's probably a 70% chance that it'll kick off. So that is kind of all the drama and a quick roundup from Jeffree's episode on the Mom's Basement podcast. I hope that was a good explanation and a good roundup of the episode and everyone kind of got the tea, because I know it was originally like an hour and 5 minutes long. And I also included a bit of my own opinions, because I enjoy when drama channels do that. I don't exactly like when drama channels just sit there and just don't give an opinion. But also leave your opinion in the description about all the drama. Like I said at the beginning of the video, please give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe down below. Also, like I said, timestamps for the actual podcast will be in the description. And today's upload was actually supposed to be a Jaclyn Hill video. If you still want that Jaclyn Hill video, just comment it down below and I'll upload it. I don't know if I've already said this, but my socials will be up here and linked in the description. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye.